welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally sharing the process of getting our house ready for our housewarming. So I talked a lot about it over the last, I don't know, month and a half, almost 2 months now, of all the things we're trying to get done, and I promised it would come up after our housewarmings. So we have officially finished both. We did have one for family and we had some friends over the following weekend. So there was a lot of things that we wanted to get done that I'm finally able to share. Definitely get yourself a snack, get yourself a drink. This one's going to be a doozy. There's just lots to share and to cover. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you like more house content, I do have a house Instagram account that I am going to get better at posting on. So you can give that a follow right here. If you just like the daily things and beauty, fashion, lifestyle, all that jazz, you can follow my actual Instagram account. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help. So I hope you guys enjoyed and seeing all the befores and afters. All right, so this is the current state of our dining room. So nice little overview. Not much has changed since I did the actual house tidy up, but I do want to show you guys this area. So this painting is going to move up to our bedroom because with the Murphy bed in place there, it would be like really close to the ceiling and it would look kind of stupid. So there's that. The bar is going to move over here. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that mahogany end table. We kind of moved it in here when I replaced it in the living room, so TBD. Our outdoor heater will obviously be outdoor. This bench, since we don't have any more plants growing on it, I'll probably meld it back into either our bedroom or into here. Please don't mind the state of my table. I'm going to be condensing our table back down to its regular size. It's only really open like that because we had guests and then we just never bothered to close it. That little basket over there with some miscellaneous things in it needs to be addressed. But yeah, that's what it currently looks like. And obviously the wall is still blue, which you can't quite see yet. There we go. And we are going to be painting it this green color, which is called Scallion. I really quite like it. It looks a little bit darker in this spot. So originally I did want to go a little bit more olive tone. It looks much more stark on camera there. But I did just like the more true green color because I'm going to keep the sages for like potentially my office again. And then I'll show you guys, we finally, hello, got a mirror for the powder room. It's just kind of resting right now on the lip of the vanity, but it'll be up a few more inches because you can see that there were a lot of different mirrors here over the years. So the back is like riddled with holes and screws and stuff like that. So I wanted to get a mirror big enough to block all that. And it honestly makes such a difference to have a mirror in here. After living here for 4 months, actually it's 4 months today, it honestly makes the room even brighter. It has a very bright window and there's a frosted covering on that, but I really do love the light. So this was like my main priority. I'm like, this absolutely had to be out for the housewarming. The paint and all the other stuff has been extra, or is extra. All right, so you can see we already took the painting down. Now the goal here is to move the bar area and like the wine bottles and stuff to the other wall over here. And we've decided that we're gonna move the mahogany table back into the living room, but we're going to be putting it behind the couch. We're not really gonna see it, but we get to put the like blanket basket and little miscellaneous things on top of it. I think that will do for now. And I did some measurements of the Murphy bed, like the bits and pieces that are currently sitting in our garage. And it looks like it's going to take up the majority of this wall. So you can't quite see the corner, but it's gonna go almost all the way to the corner and stop maybe around here. So I won't have to move the black shelves, which I'm grateful for. Alright, so I had to empty the bottom of the bar because it always makes me a little bit nervous to try and shuffle it with all of that in it. So I think I'm gonna keep it like this, where it's closer to the door frame, and then tucking the wine bottles and the wine rack in the corner, because this area where the actual bar is a little bit more afternoon light, and I don't want to sit alcohol directly in sunlight. So I think that's where we're going right now. This wall just looks so big and bright. It's just funny because we're about to cover it with some dark wood. All right, so we are going to place the cabinet of the Murphy bed along with the framing, I suppose, of where the bed is. So I'm gonna insert a picture here of what the Murphy bed looked like in the house we got it from. So it's not as tall because it's a double and not a queen, but before we can actually fully set it up, I do plan on painting the wall. I need to get in to paint. So my goal today is to also go and buy the paint. One thing I realized is that the previous owner left us the paint that she did in the house. So I have the blue, I have the gray. On the paint cans, I realized they're all matte. So I guess I'm gonna be going with matte paint, which I've never done before. Now, one interesting detail of our house, which I haven't really seen elsewhere, but I've been told is gaining popularity. So we actually go a couple inches onto the ceiling before the like popcorn stucco situation over here. But you can see like the lines are just they're not that crisp. And there's a couple spots that they kind of like went over. And the problem is I don't have the ceiling color. I don't have any of that white. I've currently taped white paint chips to my bathroom ceiling to see which one kind of looks the closest, because I do need to do a little bit of white in that bathroom. I don't think I'll be painting today, but I will definitely be going to get the paint today. All right, that was a little bit more expensive than anticipated. Usually I get away with a number of the little sample pots, but I asked for a professional opinion because I'm covering colors that I don't already have, haven't used before. So I ended up getting a gallon for the green because we didn't think a quart would quite do it because it's not a one coat color. And then I got a quart of the yellow, and I got 2 samples of the white because I just need to do the top of my shower. I think the color is close enough to the white that we have on our ceilings that I can touch up a couple of spots that are driving me nuts. And now I'm gonna go find myself Fabricland. All right, I ended up picking up a couple of liners because I only had one left, but it didn't fit the tray that we had, so I got a new tray. I got a 1.5 inch brush because I've got a couple like really tight spots. Can never go wrong with some rollers. And then for the paints, like I said, we went with 2 small of the white, and I got Bit of Sugar. Then my next one is a Marquee. This is one of the one coats, and it's interior matte. And this one is called Selene Gold. Very excited for this one. And then we went for the interior flat. I got a Bare Premium Plus because I was trying to be as budget friendly as possible. All right, so I'm very excited to get the paint going. I'm going to probably tape off tonight and then get started painting tomorrow. But I'm really excited. I'm not usually excited to paint. When Scott and I moved into the townhouse, we basically spent that first day painting. We had Scott's best friend Jeff, my dad, and the 4 of us spent the better part of 16 hours painting the house from top to bottom. I never again in my life will do that. I won't. I refuse. Absolutely refuse. Which is probably why I have an affinity for accent walls, because they're much more manageable and much more time friendly. I went to Fabricland because I needed fabric shears, first off. That was important. And I needed to get some fabric for our couch cushions. So I made these cushions 2 Christmases ago. It was the first time I'd ever used a sewing machine. My mother-in-law hooked me up with hers and kind of helped me out. And they were only meant to be for Christmas. And then I never seemed to put the old ones back on because I just like this material better. So I wanted to get something for summer, spring, etc. So I was looking potentially for like a sage green, kind of tie in some greens from here. but I figured ultimately yellow just seemed way better. I went and felt what I feel is like every fabric in that store, but I needed something that Fussy Pants, being my husband, was not going to complain about, because Scott and his family are all about the feel. So I ended up picking up this more like gauze, I think it was called double gauze material, and I liked that it had that like texture to it. I felt like it might be a little bit more forgiving for me. Pick this up. I'm going to order some fabric clips on Amazon because they are half the price and double the amount than they are in the store. But I have these materials that I bought years ago when fabric masks were a thing, and a friend of mine, a former coworker, was making masks, so I was going to have her make them, and then I never got around to them. They got stuck in my closet and I'd never touched them again. And they were all like lemon themed because my classroom was lemon themed, my lemonade squad. But because they're yellows and there's greens and blues, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do a mock-up of one more pillow. I have a couple of like lumbar sized pillows. I got the scissors, which were 50% off. I got a zipper because I'm gonna try a zipper detail on the style pillow. These ones are an envelope closure, but the material only cost me like $7. So can't argue with that. And if I screw up, I'll just have to remember and go back. So yeah, so I've just got so much that I want to do, and I'm just so excited. And I'm hoping that I can, you know, build my sewing confidence. I have a couple patterns for clothes that I'm looking forward to attempting to make later on in the summer, because that is not a now thing. But I'm going to sign off for today and catch you guys tomorrow. All right, everyone, welcome to paint day. So I'm gonna start off in the bathroom. I need to feel accomplished, so I'm gonna start with a smaller space. So you can see that I have taped off the shower ceiling. I have done just this little strip right here that connects to the ceiling, only because the rest of it down here is like itty bitty bitty. And I'm gonna be even using like an actual tiny paintbrush to do that. Patiently, freehand, because there's no way any roller or any other regular paintbrush is gonna fit there. So I'm gonna start with that white. I gotta top it up a couple spots on the ceiling where they got blue, and then I'm probably gonna move to the yellow. So I'm going to tape off some more. There's some things that I know I should take off, but I do need to go get a screwdriver to take off the face plates. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do around the mirror, because I can tell they must have taken it off at one point to paint, because it's actually chipped in the bottom corner, and like you really can't tell unless you're like up close to it. So I might again just use a paintbrush and fill it in, and I'm not willing to break glass and having to replace that. So we're gonna manage. And then it's just the fixture that I'm not sure how I can take the lighting fixture off, so we'll tinker with that and get started. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of painting. I taped off most of the dining room last night before I just lost all the steam, and I also realized I had to move our glasses cabinet, which I wasn't sure if I'd be able to move fully loaded. I was not gonna empty it all. But now she's moved and we are all taped and ready to go. The bathroom looks really good. I'm gonna show you guys that in a second. All right, so this is the bathroom. I absolutely adore the yellow. It makes me so incredibly happy. It is just so bright and I just love it. So I've been picking up a few more things to kind of add to the decor of the bathroom. Obviously, I had these towels. I had these body towels and these face cloths, and these were just from like Winners at the TJ Maxx companies, and they're DKNY, but I have not been able to get my hands on the hand towels. though I have tried desperately. I have gone to probably 5 different locations over a couple different time periods, so I've kind of decided that it's not meant to be. And yesterday I quite literally was going in, I went to 4 different stores, 2 Marshalls, a Winners, and a HomeSense. And in HomeSense, I found something that I'm like, okay, maybe this is my compromise. Because I found these, which still have their tags on, because I literally just got them yesterday. I just put them down to see if it seemed like it was too much. For some people it might be, but it just makes my heart so happy. And the compromise I have, so this is our shower curtain, and there's a lot of like grays in here. And one of Scott's aunts got us a little housewarming basket that had a set of towels and some hand towels, and they are that very fair gray. So I think that I'm going to stick to having those in here with the yellow body towels and face cloths. And then I picked up a couple little, let's say trinkets. I guess they are trinkets in a sense. This one's from Michael's. This is part of their fall collection. I don't typically buy seasonal stuff when it's not on sale, but it was the only one in there. There was 3 colors. There's only like a couple of each, and I thought this was perfect. It's the right amber glass. Right now there's some Q-tips in it. I don't think the Q-tips are going to be ideal if it's fully stocked, but I might put some like cotton rounds. And then a little while ago, I may have shown this, I think I showed this in a previous vlog, but I have this little tray which still has a tag on it. I don't remember where I got this one from actually. I feel like it was another Winners or something. But I tend to throw any jewelry or like my Fitbit in when I'm showering or if I'm doing any skincare. And I think that's it. I'm not gonna do any more touches in there, but it just adds a little bit of something, a little tie-in, and I'm loving it. So yeah, the goal is I have to take the curtain rod down. I forgot how much I dislike painting, or I should say, I forgot how much time it takes. Like even yesterday, just doing the tub ceiling, although I've never done a ceiling before, and I can totally appreciate how tiring it is with like having your arms over your head. It's definitely tiring. The bathroom walls weren't too bad, but I did have to go in to a lot of like small crevices with like the tiny brush and even like my 1.5 inch brush just to really get in there because there was no way the roller was gonna make it. So I'm hoping that because this is a little more straightforward, I might have a faster time at it. So yeah, that is the goal for today. All right, coat number 1 is done, and I would say pretty dry for the most part. I'm gonna wait a little longer to do the second coat. All right, coat number 2 is done. I love it. I love this color. And I will amend something I said earlier where my first color at my townhouse was like a deep true green, I guess. This one does have a little bit more of a sage undertone. I don't think I would need a 3rd coat. I've got more than enough paint to do that. I think I don't even think I used half that can, but better to have too much than not enough. Also, could totally do this color in our bedroom. I would have more than enough for doing a wall in there. So I'm just going to tidy that up. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit more, and then I'm gonna rip the satisfying tape. And I did my best for the awkward bit of sealing, the trimming piece. I did my best to cover up as much blue without going farther into the white like stucco. So I will wait for it to completely dry before I go in with the white to touch up the edges for any blue that bled over. I don't think, for the most part, I think I did pretty well with keeping the green off of the white. But I am grateful to be done. I'm not gonna lie, my shoulders are tired, and I would like to get my dining room back to a slightly more manageable state. I don't know when we're gonna be able to get the Murphy bed in, but I'm excited. I'm so happy for this to like be settled, and it's gonna look so good. 4 of these are quite substantial because they are solid steel legs or whatnot. I really do like them. All right, so our legs are 32 inches tall. Our island extension is about 1.5 inches thick, and the underlip of our counter that we're kind of sinking it to in the island is about 35 inches. So we bought some stools off Facebook Marketplace just kind of as a like placeholder, and we can repurpose them out under the gazebo if and when we find like our perfect stools. And they were 20 bucks on Marketplace for 2 of them, so I was like, this is a win. But I think it's most advantageous to have the stools first to find the perfect height, because we do have some extra wood from that island extension, and we can use that to kind of bump up where the legs attach to the island to give us a little bit more clearance. That's not on the plans for today, but I am gonna message the girl who we are getting the stools from to see if we can actually get them today, because that would be awesome. So I have just got back all of the photos that I had printed. I did print a couple of extras and a couple of the sizes because I realized that the original images I was planning on printing were not the highest quality, so I didn't think they would do as well being printed at a 5x7 or larger size. So instead of being completely through a relationship, they're really kind of wedding, engagement, seems to be other people's weddings. So this was taken at our best friend's wedding back in 2017, and this one was taken at Scott's sister's wedding in 2019. So yeah, there's lots of love floating around in these photos. And then the 2x3 photos, I'm just printing out little Polaroid prints. So now that I've got these all kind of laid out, I'm gonna pull up my outline on Canva as to how I wanted to distribute the photos. Obviously the frame size dictates that, but there's again a few extras, so I'll just show you guys what it looked like. I've just kind of queued them all up in the same format that they're up on the wall, and that way I can kind of distribute the photos. We have a lot of photos in the woods and then a lot of photos that are very bright skies, so looking forward to this going up. I will pause for a second to share a little update about our island stools. So unfortunately, the math didn't math very well. So we got the stools home and I love them, but we put them in situ and then sat in them and then quickly realized that the height of the legs we got was not going to be sufficient. We weren't sure how we were going to proceed, and we came up with a couple different solutions. And in the end, we're actually going to stick to our original, slightly amended original formatting, if you will, of attaching the legs with a couple extra like spacers of wood in between them. And then we're gonna get shorter stools. Now we love these stools and we're gonna obviously use them, but we're gonna probably repurpose them for the basement for when we play darts, put them down in the hallway down there. We can also bring them outside under the gazebo is another thought we had. We make like a bar height table for out there. So there's lots of options, and for 20 bucks, I'm not mad because I legit couldn't find anything else. So I have found a few other stool options. We've compromised a little bit on the height of the island, but not to the point where these stools are like the stools we have that are gonna fit. So that'll be tinkering for tomorrow or a later date. Let's work on the gallery wall. I'm basically just gonna put them in the frames and I will hang them up tomorrow. All right, so that frame is gonna be a little bit wonky for a bit because I had to put a bracket on the back of the frame. So it's a little off kilter, so I gotta do a little something to jig that, but the rest of them should be fine. So as you can see, I had already mapped out all of the frames. I traced the outer frames, but I have the full size, not just the photo size, and I have laid it all out. Very easy, just using some picture hooks, a little bit of patience. I actually used blue tack to keep all of these up on the wall, and they've been up for ages now. One thing I wish I had done earlier, when I traced out the frame, I should have made a mark from the jump of where the bracket was, because now I'm kind of holding them up, measuring them out. Some of them, like this one, the bracket is very close to the edge, so you'll see, not that anyone's really going to notice it, but you can see the hanger above it is what it is. Now I've got my little level. Let's get going. Alright, so that is the gallery wall all done. It is not perfect, but right now I'm just happy with having it up. So there's a few little spacing issues that we will kind of tinker with the more we live with it. Now I'm just happy it's up there and something that we can add to in the future. Alright, and now for the dining room. We've got the Murphy cabinet almost fully built. We have not yet secured it to the wall. We had to have my neighbor come over and help bring in the heaviest piece because it was just too much for me, and also the height disparity between my husband and I makes carrying heavy things even more challenging. So we haven't brought in the side cabinet yet. That's still in our garage. We are planning to bring it in, so this might move a little bit that way, but only just a touch. And we will put the handles in. This is kind of, there's another little faceplate that goes over top of it and some other framework. But for the most part, it's here as much as it is definitely visually heavy. But honestly, I'm just so happy to have it. And I'm looking forward to using the cabinet. I think that the big cupboard in the bottom corner of the cabinet is large enough for my sewing machine to live in, because this is really the room that I'll be doing all my sewing in. Very excited for that. Also, look at this beautiful orchid plant we got from a set of friends from our housewarming. There's also some bubbly. And yeah, this room is basically done once this is in place. Okay, when I tell you guys that I am absolutely obsessed with our extension island, I love it. I actually spent the majority of last week exclusively working at this desk. I was doing an online course and I just would have breakfast here, I would work here, and these stools are perfect. We ended up getting them on Facebook Marketplace. They were a little bit more expensive than the first set that we got, but they fit perfectly under the island. Like the back just comes up. It's actually not even as tall as the island. So they tuck away majestically. They are gray, so they tie in with our couch. They've got black metal legs, which ties in with these legs, and they are the perfect height. So I am thrilled. These ones ended up costing 50 bucks, which again is a steal because most stools, they're just atrociously priced, or the reviews are crap. So I'm like, well, I'm not wasting money on this. But this island, we still have a little bit of work to do on it. I'm going to be sanding it down and putting a butcher block food grade safe sealant on it so that it's protected from things. We'll get to it. And the very last thing I actually almost completely forgot about is the pillows that I did. And I loved them. So they were the first thing I did on my sewing machine. It just looks so bright and cheerful on the gray couch. And then those little fabric squares I showed you guys before, I ended up doing one of my lumbar pillows. I did not use the zipper. So I used the striped lemons on the back and just had the front facing being yellow. 'Cause I was shy a couple of inches of material to be able to do this whole thing in the yellow, which is a bit of a bummer, but we do have a lot of blues. So this just kind of is the backing of it on our blue chair. All right, so those are all the things that we have managed to do around the house over the last month and a half or so to get us all set up for our housewarmings. They were both a huge success. We are definitely tapped out for hosting for a little while, but thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when I upload every week on Tuesday, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya!